Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video I'm going to be changing some plants in this aquarium. A few videos ago I mentioned that I had some algae issues in this tank and I did some filter maintenance and I added some sea chem Phosgard and some sea chem Purigen. I just topped them up because they had kind of run out, and I was hoping that would fix the issue, and whilst it has made things better, the background plants in this tank have suffered and they are still kind of struggling with a bit of an algae battle. So in today's video I'm going to be ripping those out and I'm going to be replacing them with something new. So as you can see, there's some Pocostemon erectus and some Rotala orange juice, but they've definitely seen better days and they don't seem to be bouncing back very quick. So I'm just going to go in and rip them out. I'm going to do it quite slowly and carefully just so I don't disrupt the soil substrate layer too much, because I still want to be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to kind of firmly grab those and pull them out, but as I say, just kind of slowly, and it just stops the tank becoming murky. I think one of the issues is that the soil has been in there for over a year now, and tropical aquarium soil is really good, but after about a year, especially in a high-tech tank, it's definitely going to use its nutrient sort of density. So I'm going to top that up with some Tropica nutrition capsules, and I'm going to be replacing the stems with some new ones, some that I haven't tried before, because I'm a little bit bored of what's in there. So I'm going to use some Rotala Nanjenshin and some Rotala green, which is something I have used before, but I do think it's a classic sort of nature style plant. I'm also going to use some Hygrophila pinnatifida and some Cryptocorini balanci. So there we go, we've ripped out the plants, and as you can see they were in pretty bad health. I had recently trimmed them but they just didn't bounce back. So in with the capsules, little tip, if you pierce these it stops them sort of floating back up, because when you push them in the soil they can just pop back out again. Now we're going to prep the plants. So some are kind of in a gel and some are in sort of a liquid, and it's just a case of rinsing them off in some fresh dechlorinated water. Although to be fair, I didn't dechlorinate this, but you can if you think it's going to be safer, especially if your tap water has high chlorine in it. As you can see, one is in a gel, and it's just a case of rinsing that off. It's not going to hurt if it does go in the water, but it is just sort of very dense in nutrients. And we're just going to separate the plants, and to do that I just pinch them off at the base and just create little portions, kind of split it up into about 10 to 15 pieces. With the pinnatifida, all you do is squeeze the pot and then pull out the plant with the rock wool. Sometimes the rock wool will just come clean off, other times you kind of need to tear it off a little bit, and if you still can't get it off, you can either run through it with a fork, just be careful with the roots, or I just use my tweezers and just sort of scrape down them and it eventually gets it off. Then just give a little rinse in some water just to clean it off. Again, it won't hurt if it goes in the aquarium, it's just not ideal, and it's as simple as that. I'm not going to tear this plant up, I'm just going to plant this in one big piece. So as you can see, that is all my portions ready for planting, and as I mentioned, the pinnatifida is just staying as it is, but the Cryptocorini balanci, again, I just sort of teared that apart. You can see the nodes where they pop apart from. Right, so now it's time for planting, and just taking it by the roots with the tweezers, just careful not to damage the roots, and just pushing it into the soil. And it was just a case of repeating that for all the plants throughout the back of the tank. I planted them kind of not randomly. On the right hand side we've got the balance going down to the Rotala green, going down to the Nanjenshin, or however you pronounce it, and then the pinnatifida is just sort of a little bit more in the mid ground. And the fish are very interested, and I think they will probably try and uproot them. The catfish are the worst for it, so I do expect to see some floating plants in the morning. And then for 10 days I'm going to dose Flourish Advance. This is really good for getting the root systems developed and strengthened, and I'll keep you updated with how this goes. But thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you on the next one.